You made a bit of a noise before, but I want you to make a bigger noise now. Like this is the main guy, right? Let's give it a massive.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fredrick Afrifa, and I will be... Ooh. Mic drop. I'll be speaking to you guys about something that's really, really, really close to my heart. So I'm a speaker, I'm an author, TV personality, but today I'll be speaking to you about what I care about the most. On a day-to-day basis, I help individuals get really good at speaking and communicating, even in situations that they find uncomfortable, especially when the stakes are high. This is what I call the last human edge. And what I find working in a number of organizations is that talent, especially diverse talent, really struggles with this. A lot of the times you have the information, you have the knowledge, but when it's time to articulate that information, you struggle, and we will always be perceived at our level of communication. So how can we be the best communicators possible? Now, the world has changed, and so has the way that we speak and communicate. Over 10 years ago, social media has been part of our everyday life. My dad is 60, and he's on TikTok now, as of 3 weeks ago. Following that, we had a global pandemic that changed the way we work. And recently, we've had AI that, again, has revolutionized the way that we communicate. So I truly believe that nowadays, being good is no longer good enough. We live in a day and age where visibility beats ability. So you can be smart, you can have all the PhDs, but if you can't articulate how clever you are, we will never know. Best known beats best. In December, I went to Amsterdam with my wife, and she decided all the places we were going to eat at, and she just went on TikTok. All of the TikTok viral places got the business. They may not have been the best restaurants, but they were the best known. As a result, they got the business. So I truly believe that in your career, in your businesses, success is good work plus visibility. And I know this firsthand. Have I changed much? I grew up in Milan, in Italy, where when you speak about visibility, my family and I felt it. We were hyper visible. Whether it was at the supermarket, walking down the street, or even on a bus, everyone would stare at us. So as a kid, I wanted to be invisible, quiet, shy, introverted. Age 12, my family thought it's time for a change. We're moving to London. I was quite excited. I'd never been to London, didn't speak a word of English. Coming from Ghana, I could understand it, but I couldn't speak it very well. And since I had never been to London, I thought I was going to get one of those apartments. I was excited. And I remember when we were 5 minutes from home, I looked around and I said, Dad, where are we? And my dad said, Fred, welcome to Brixton. This was quite the culture shock. And if you're not familiar with Brixton, rather than it looking like this, it looked like this. Now, one of the things, though, that Brixton taught me is that I was really fast. Whenever I sniffed that there was a little bit of danger, I would run as fast as I could. And people would make fun of me, saying, you're always running. I didn't want any trouble. And actually, it came from trauma because 2 weeks into me moving to Brixton, I actually got robbed. And I didn't want that to happen ever again. That situation, though, I turned trauma into opportunity because I was so fast at running that I became a professional sprinter. I represented Italy at European stage. I was signed by Nike, and things were going incredibly well. In 2019, I became national champion for the first time, the year before the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. But we all know what happened in 2020, right? COVID. I got COVID in February of 2020, and my performances sharply declined. As a result, I narrowly missed out on Tokyo. A week after, I got dropped by my sponsor, and I went from a superstar athlete to a delivery driver. And I remember working at Sainsbury's as a delivery driver. My manager had worked there 10 years. He had 2 degrees. I said to him, politely, you seem a bit overqualified to be a delivery driver. The gentleman told me that because of his anxiety, he was stuck. He's got a big fear of speaking to people, and he said, Fred, learn one thing from me. If you don't get over this shyness that you have, you will end up being a delivery driver for the rest of your life. So in an attempt to get better at speaking, I emailed all the schools in my local area just to say, hey, I'd love to speak to your students. I'll do it for free. I just want to get better at speaking. And I'll speak to them about my running career. And it worked. I ended up going to primary school, showing them how to do a few press-ups and doing a 15-minute assembly. The first one was very bad. But eventually I got better. After a few months, an independent school in my local area said, free talk? No, don't be silly. We got a speaker budget. A speaker budget? What's the budget? £100. Bear in mind, I was doing deliveries for £9 an hour. And now this school gave me £100 to speak for 15 minutes. So I politely accepted. And my career as a keynote speaker started there. So I kept speaking, I kept improving. And along the way, I realized I wasn't the only one. Actually, the fear of speaking is one of the biggest problems in the world. So I started to help individuals overcome this fear with my business partner, Gordon. And eventually we got a big break. We got opportunity to work with the team at Sky. Following this, I thought that the business-to-business opportunities would keep flooding in. But that wasn't the case. Though we were really good, we were the best-kept secret. We had the good work, but we didn't have the visibility. As a result, we didn't get the opportunities. And that's when my crazy left brain said, hey, go on the apprentice. So I applied for the show. My dad took probably one of the worst pictures I've ever seen. And after, I'm not that sure. After rigorous months, I ended up making it on the show. I didn't win the process, but I got far enough for people to recognize me and for Lord Sugar to recognize my communication skill. And he said, we can see why Fredrick is a great speaker. Now we had the good work plus the visibility. And it totally changed our lives. Now people could see how good we were. We started working with the biggest corporations, with the biggest universities in the country, and the doors just kept rolling. For me, one of the biggest moments was being invited to number 10. Not only was I there for a Black History Month reception, but I was asked to help politicians get better at their ability to speak English. But at 12 years old, I couldn't even speak English. And 2 weeks ago, myself and Gordon were in Scotland at the Royal Bank of Scotland. They flew in 70 of their senior leaders from all over the country to deliver this training. Now, as you can see, the only Black people in the room were myself and Gordon. The average experience for the people that we trained was 33 years, and we're both under 33 years old. But what we found is that because we could articulate ourselves, a floodgate of opportunities opened. So I want to spend the rest of my time here actually pouring into you and showing you how I went from a shy delivery driver to a globally renowned keynote speaker. And I did that by understanding the psychology of speaking. You see, you can only speak as well as you can think. In those moments that you struggle to articulate yourself, it's not that you can't speak. It's that you're struggling to think under pressure. As a result, your words are all fuzzy. So over the next few moments, I want to show you how, even under pressure, you can be the best thinker possible, because that will translate to you being the best speaker possible. We're going to be doing this in an engaging way. We're going to have fun. We're going to do an exercise called 1, 2, 3. This is the warm-up. In pairs. It can only be done in pairs. If there's a 3, you have to figure it out. In your pairs, you're going to simply count up to 3. Person 1 will say 1, person 2 will say 2, person 1 will say 3, and then you go back to 1. Anything from 4 onwards is forbidden. Let's do 1 practice round so I know you understand. If I was to say 1, you guys would say 3. Someone said 4. I don't know where you are, but someone said 4. So I want you to do that in your pairs for 20 seconds, okay? Time starts now. Let's go. Okay, 10 seconds left. Come on, 10 seconds left. Three, 2, 1. All right, focus. Time. Please put your hand up if you found out a little bit harder than you thought it would be. All right. Level two. If you have something in your hand, please put it down, because in level 2, rather than saying 2, you're going to clap. All right. So let's do a practice round. We'll do a practice round before we get started. 1, 3. Good luck. Over to you. 20 seconds. Let's go. 1 clap, 3. You replace the 2 with a clap. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, focus. Sorry, guys. Let's go. So please give me a hand if you found that even a little bit trickier. Yeah? Okay. Why did I have you doing that exercise? It is an introduction to focus. What makes the exercise challenging is that you are getting distracted. Everyone else is laughing, saying free, clapping, you're second guessing yourself. Think about it. If something as easy as 1, 2, 3 can be a little bit challenging when your focus is scattered, imagine trying to articulate the value of your organization to a client. What I find is that often under pressure, rather than focusing on the message that you're supposed to be delivering, we focus on that manager that looks a bit bored. Client started yawning. I must be doing a terrible job. Okay, she's on her phone. That's not good. You are distracting yourself from what you should be focusing on, which is the message. Rule number 1, in high-stakes communication, give your brain something to focus on, or your brain will pick for you. Focus on the message. Everything else is a distraction. So this is not exact neuroscience. It's super simplified to help us understand what's happening in our brain when we're speaking under pressure. There are 3 systems that we use when we communicate. The first system is called the parietal system. This is the first system that you develop as a human being. Children between the age of 0 and 4 spend most of their day in the parietal part of their system. Everything is intuitive. If they're hungry, they will cry till they're fed. If they're tired, they will just be annoying till they sleep. If they want something, they tell you. No overthinking. And then we turn 5. We go into school and we start to develop our prefrontal cortex, the logical part of our brain, what makes us conventionally smart or clever. The challenge is, as intelligent adults, because in education we only really work on our prefrontal cortex, we think everything should come from this part of our brain. This can force us to overthink, to overanalyze, to overprepare, though you know the information already. This part of the brain is the part of the brain that you use when you're walking home from your local bus stop or train station. You can do that walk without thinking. This is the part of the brain that you use when you want to contribute in a team meeting, but you think, should I do it, should I not do it? You start thinking about what you're going to say, and by the time you're ready to contribute, we've moved on. And the third system is the limbic system, the emotional part of your brain that tells you people are judging you. Just keep quiet. They're going to think you're not capable. If you're a subject matter expert, if you're speaking on a project, on an organization, on your life, then communication should mainly come from the parietal part of the brain. I'm not one of these people that will tell you to just trust your gut. I'm going to show you what it's like to use the intuitive part of your brain when speaking. So we're going to do another activity, because I believe that social media and technology have forced us to have what I call intuition neglect, where sometimes you could be driving a route that you know already, but you just have the sat-nav there just in case. So an exercise called chain game. How it's going to work? One person will be the game master, the other person will be the participant. You have to decide. The game master will give the participant a word, any word, for example, chair. And the participant has 20 seconds to say a chain of words that associate with the chair. So someone told me chair, I could say legs, seat, leather, sofa, IKEA. For 20 seconds. All the words have to associate with the word that you were given, not with the last word you just said. Is that clear? As soon as I say time, your 20 seconds is up, please put your focus back on me. Is that all clear? Fantastic. This side is going to be the game master, who's going to be the participants. Okay. Game master, give the participants their word, all right? Your 20 seconds starts now. Go. Ten seconds to go. 10 seconds to go. Three, two, one, and time. Okay, focus, please. Focus. We are going to do that exercise one more time. I heard, oh no. What I found is that I say a chain of words. What your brain hears is say as many words as you can, as fast as you can. It's a race. Let's go. Word. Pace. That will always happen under pressure. Your brain will try and process things really quickly and it will think it's a race. You could be in a team meeting and someone says, oh, what are your thoughts? Me, what you need to do is set a speed limit of how fast you process things when you're under pressure. Just like driving, if we don't have a speed limit, we lose control. The same thing happens when we're articulating ourselves under pressure. You start rushing your thought process. When your thinking is funny, your speaking is funny. So in round 2, I want you to go at a pace that's more comfortable for you. Set a speed limit. By rushing, you typically start overusing the filler words. I don't want us to eradicate filler words, but the overuse of filler words can make an expert sound like a novice. It really can chip away at credibility if every time you're thinking, you're overusing filler words. So I want you to be more mindful of the noises that are coming out of your mouth, which can only happen if you reduce the pace. And lastly, a lot of us, when we're thinking, we're looking around, just looking for inspiration. And we need to just try and maintain a good level of eye contact, even when you're thinking. When we talk about leadership communication, these are the things that are needed, okay? So, round 2, we're going to do the same exercise for 20 seconds. I want you to take your time, try to reduce the filler words, try to maintain better eye contact. Let's see if it feels any different, okay? Same person, different words. Your time starts now. Same person, different word. Same person, different word. That's better. Same person. 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Okay. I need you to focus, guys. Please. All right, guys, give me a hand if round 2 felt even a little bit better than round 1. Okay, fantastic. Now, this is the power of just setting yourself that speed limit. Now, why is this all really important? There's a gentleman called Harvey J. Coleman, and he looked at, his obsession was how do people progress in their careers? And he came up with something called the PI model. The P is for performance, the I is for image, the E is for exposure. Contrary to popular belief, he believed that only 10% of the reason you progress is because of your performance. 30% is because of your image, and 60% is the exposure, the visibility. With that visibility comes more pressure, and that's why these skills are essential for all of your career growth. Today, you have a chance to network, to speak to people. I want you to try and put this into practice. Don't feel rushed. Set that speed limit. For most of you, you've definitely earned that shot. You've definitely earned that promotion, and you know how good you are, but it's time to show everyone else. It's really important. And if you're already a leader in the room, then these are the questions that I have for you. Who are you giving visibility to or sponsoring? Because as we know, this is vitally important for us to be able to tackle this challenge together. This is why spaces like these are not just important, but they are essential. They're an opportunity for us to start that conversation, for us to pour into the talent that we know can really flourish. I believe that enhancing your communication skills especially is life-changing. It changed my life and changes the lives of the thousands of people that we work with on a regular basis. When you think about your personal lives, how many times have you said something you didn't really mean, and then you can't take it back? When you think about your professional career, how many times did you not put your hand up when you knew you were more than capable? When it comes to the side hustle that you started because the cost of living is killing us, think about the opportunities that you missed. And when it comes to building that new network that you will be doing today. My organization is called Believe in Greatness. Can my team please put their hand up? If you're in a room and you're someone who really wants to work on this, or you feel like your team will really benefit from this, please speak to myself or someone in the team and we'll be more than happy to support you. My name is Fredrick Afrifa. Thank you so much for listening to me. I would now like to welcome on stage the visionaries behind BPLS. They turn an idea into something tangible that's changing hundreds of people's lives. So I want us to celebrate them. Let's give Amina and John a big round of applause.
That was amazing. Thank you.